different from Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm a little nervous, so let's start out. Go clap with me. Here we go. Sing along. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when there's a rain. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Oh yeah, we'll do the other. Okay. That didn't work. All right. Well, that got the energy up a little bit, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay. Well, I think I'm supposed to imagine all of you in your underwear. Let me see. Oh, Fredericks of Hollywood. Victoria's Secret. Wow. Black silk boxer shorts with hearts on them. Very good.
That's no fair. You know Mark's wearing that.
What else? Let me see. Oh, not at all. That's a bold choice. I mean, if I don't have any underwear in the underwear drawer, I just, get some out of root through the cleanest ones in the dirty laundry. Put them on for an extra day. So, anyway, all right, well, good. You all have great underwear choices. All right. So I'd like to, we'll see how it goes as we go. Let me see. How long am I allowed to talk?
Probably about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. I'll try to.
Or whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. Get off as soon as I can. Okay. All right. So I'm honored. I'm going to stick a little bit to my script till I get more comfortable. I'll go rogue later, probably. I'm honored to be able to stand here and share my thoughts with you, and I'm grateful for the privilege to do so. When I'm speaking to you, I am speaking to myself. When you are listening to me, you are listening to yourself, because we are all one. And basically, all is already known with each one of inside each one of us. So this conversation is simply a reminder of the things you already know. Therefore, I don't have to say them. No, just kidding. All right. So the ancient mystics to modern-day spiritualists have followed the principles of natural law. I'm thinking about natural law today. And early in my life as a spiritualist, I took a course in natural law, and I understood why these laws were a tenet of the spiritualist religion. I am sure that many of you have studied natural law. How many have studied natural law somewhere along the way? Some of you probably even teach it, I'm sure. But it's sort of really a part of what we do, and it's really good stuff. It's good things to know. These laws are interrelated, and they all exist and function whether a person believes in them or not. They are laws that function. We can ignore them or pay attention to them, but they are there. So these laws are also proving to be more in line with physical science than they were originally thought to be. We see that more and more. Many concepts and adages we frequently hear are derived from natural law, such as we talk about karma, or we say here, as above, so below, yin and yang, what you sow, you reap, and thoughts are things. All of those things are related to the natural laws. I just wanted to, there are some differences in some of the lists when you research natural law. There's some add a few others to it, but the basic laws are the law of divine oneness, the law of vibration, the law of action, the law of correspondence, the law of cause and effect, the law of compensation, the law of attraction, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, the law of relativity, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, and the law of gender. The most famous of these laws obviously is the law of attraction. There's so many things out there about the law of attraction. We've heard this in reference to the book called The Secret. That's promoted by Oprah, and several other celebrities promote that. But I'm sure along the way, it's a very popular thing to hear of the law of attraction. It's always an idea of getting the things you want in life and how to approach it using that particular law. So the like attracts like aspect of this law tells us that we need to think and feel the emotion we would have when we have the thing we want. In essence, we should act like we have it already, whether it be wealth, love, a peaceful environment, or anything like that. Thinking we want something puts the energy of lack in us, basically, and it keeps us lacking the thing we desire. So wanting just keeps us in the wanting, and then we just keep from being that thing, being wanting something. So while it seems as if we are lying to ourselves when we make ourselves feel the emotion of already having the thing we want, we are actually aligning ourselves with the vibration that matches the thing we want, therefore drawing it to us. This is where the law of vibration comes in. And this is my main focus for today, is the law of vibration. Actually, Einstein, you all know who that is. Einstein said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So if anyone claims the information is hogwash or anything, or foo-foo or something, just remember to share this quote from one of the main scientific geniuses that we know. He's saying this very thing. Modern day quantum physics is also proving the principles of natural law and maybe even the connection between science and the divine intelligence or consciousness. But there's a lot on that. That's another lecture. There's a lot on about how science is proving God, so to speak. There's a much closer connection than we would think. The law of vibration states that every thought, sound, emotion, or feeling has a vibration. Positive vibrations are higher, negative vibrations are lower. Like attracts like. So it is important to align our thoughts with the things we want, which are usually a higher vibration. Fear, despair, lack are low vibration. Love, joy, peace are high vibration. Well-being is our natural state. And I think it's important to think about that. Well-being, being healthy and well, is our natural state. Love is more powerful than fear. Focus on positive feelings no matter what the world around you looks like. Project high vibration thoughts, especially love, outward, and the world will bring the same back to you. This is our creative force, and it is the reason positive affirmations work so well. Above all, we must not react to things in our world, but rather create the positive things we want to see by the projection of thought. This is where it gets difficult, actually. There's a saying that relates to this: what you resist persists. I don't know if anybody's heard that statement. But if we fight against something that we think is negative, even though we are sure the opposite is positive or the moral high ground, the low vibration or fear or hatred simply compounds upon itself. This is evident in news stories where opposing groups are marching in protest against each other. We see anger and shouting and even violent actions sometimes. One side might have the right, good, or morally correct view, but we don't see the good in that movement, just the anger across the board, if you think about it. When the Iraq War was being contemplated, I saw a headline in the local paper that read, "War means peace." War means peace. Think about that. It couldn't be possible. This is exactly the opposite of the understanding of the law of vibration. To have peace, we must love peace, not hate war. Think about the notions that are tied to that. We must be in the vibration of love for things we want, and not for the vibration of hatred for the things we don't want. So, think about that. the time you spend thinking about things. How much time do you spend thinking about with love for the things you want, or with not like for the things that are out there that you don't like? Lo and behold, wars keep happening because we keep fighting them. What you resist persists. We are not victims of the world, but creators of it. We are far more powerful than we realize. The natural laws. Oh, by the way, I meant to say when we did the singing at the beginning, if anybody starts dozing off, we'll use that song to get us back in energy. You know what I'm saying? So the natural laws are always functioning no matter what we do. So it's always up to us as to whether we create positive by thinking positively, or the negative by reacting negatively. That reaction word is a very important one, because what we do is reaction, and most of the times we're reacting and it's a negative reaction. When we see bad things, we must accept, this is the tough one, when we see bad things, we must accept that somewhere inside of us there are some negative thoughts that contribute to the manifestation of those things. Right? I mean, think about it. We separate ourselves from it, but if the positive creates the positive, what in us is creating what's negative out there, basically. So we have to accept a little bit our responsibility there. We must accept the responsibility to avoid reacting with negativity. We must search for and change our own negative thoughts so we can project positivity, and most importantly, love. So the answer to any dilemma is to go within. From our inner spiritual connection with disciplined practice, we can identify and project the highest and best vibration in every situation. Many of us have read the biblical phrases where Jesus says things like, love your enemy, pray for those who persecute you, do not judge, only love. These are not just nice ideas. These statements are specifically representing the natural laws of vibration and attraction. Think about it. Uh-oh. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when there's a rain. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other day, I had this feeling. I took my tail to in my arms. But I awoke, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Fall asleep again on me. Just teasing. Nobody's asleep. Okay. Raising vibration, like we just did. I remember the second verse, sort of. Did you all remember it?
No.
I meant that your homework was to learn that song before today.
Well, there we are.
Yeah, that's right. Raising vibration is a common idea for spiritualists as long as they seek to connect with those who have passed over to the other side. Spiritualists think of this all the time. It is also connected to spiritual healing, which many consider to be the highest form of vibration, or love. Dr. Joe Dispenza has books, YouTube clips, seminars, etc., where he shows how he healed himself following the principles of natural law. This is all stuff you can look on YouTube and see all these. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a really interesting person, all following basically different ways of saying it. He's more scientific, explains it that way, but it's all following natural law of vibration, basically. And helps others to achieve the same outcome. As a medical doctor, he comes from the scientific side and explains the process from that perspective. His connection to non-medicine healing involves meditation and brainwave levels. Much of his explanation of things directly follows the law of vibration and the law of attraction. You should check out his clips, honestly, sometime. Louise Hay is another noted author whose book, You Can Heal Your Life, describes her self-healing through positive affirmations. And if you think about it, positive affirmations are basically changing from a lower thought to a higher vibration thought. And the healing comes from that thing. I actually have a copy, I brought a copy of her book. This one, I actually buy extra copies to share with people. This one I'm donating to our bookstore, by the way. If you want to see a copy of that, but it's really, really a fundamental thing. And within it, she goes through the whole, she talks from everything from ringworm to varicose veins, what the affirmation is, what the thought is that maybe caused it, and then what's the affirmation to say to get the opposite. I'm just throwing one here, just random one out there, swelling, being stuck in thinking, clogged, painful ideas. The affirmation to say to relieve that is, my thoughts flow freely and easily. I move through ideas with ease. There you go. If you just say those affirmations over and over again, it can relieve those symptoms. Worth the shot on that. Cheaper than medical science. But anyway, I mean, not go to a doctor, you know what I'm saying. Okay. So there's, she describes this, this whole list of diseases are in there, and she talks about that, as I mentioned. Many books from Shakti Gawain's Creative Visualization. That was an early book that I read. Many of you probably read that book too. Sort of a handbook on creative visualization. Also to the channel work, The Course in Miracles. They all use positive affirmations to change our thoughts from negative to positive, affecting the physical and emotional healing in anyone who uses them. I'm sure some of those books are here in our bookstore. I have to tell you, I went through the Course in Miracles. I actually went through that course. And part of it was not the reading of the book. It's all supposedly channeled material. It's a little thick and hard to get through the sort of reading part of it. But the workbook part is basically just affirmations, but you say them over a year's time. You say them every, first once in the morning, then once at night. Then you say them a few times through the day. Then you build up to saying them every hour, and then you say them, the positive affirmations, which are just simple affirmations. You know, I am loved and I'm in a safe environment, for example. And then you start saying them on the hour, on the half hour, all day long. It's a great discipline to try to do that. But when you think about it, we think all of the same. We think about 90% of the thoughts we think every day, of thousands of thoughts, are the same as they were yesterday. All those thoughts are of a vibration, and they're all creating our reality. So if we change our thoughts so commonly, so much, it takes great discipline to do it. But if you do it, I know for me, over that period of time, I had so many things have happened. I had people telling me, oh, there are people around you, there are spirits near you, all this kind of thing. You're very calm, you know, all this, you know, how do you stay so calm and things, and it's just things I wouldn't have heard other times. So those it really creates some kind of an effective understanding. It's one thing just to acknowledge something, but to actually put it in practice with thoughts is another process. So I found that very helpful. Looking at the situation today with politics and other events in the news, it is more important than ever not to react with hatred and negativity toward the negative stories and those involved in creating them, but to emulate love through our emotions. We don't need to riot in the streets. We need to direct our thoughts and comments away from fear and toward love. Again, the main thing is not to react, but to send love and thoughts of peace and harmony. We can also help others by assessing their dominating negative thoughts or emotions and gently giving them, directly or indirectly, the positive thoughts or emotions that are exactly the opposite to the negative thoughts and emotions we identify. Here's another important part of what's happening. The idea is not reacting. Everybody understands the idea we should react. But I'm going to say this. Commiserating is another form of reacting. Commiserating is another form of reacting. In other words, I do this now. Something really is bad in the news, and I'll talk to Mark, and then we'll both be angry at the same thing. So we commiserate. We're not. I would say we're not. Not calling that a reaction, but it really. And then if or my boss at work, we'll talk about things because he thinks sort of the way I do, and we'll talk about, oh, isn't that crazy and stuff like that. And we'll talk about stuff, some of the changes that are happening, and then. But we're actually sort of living in the low vibration of that. Do you understand? We spend that time talking to each other. I think I feel better. I always say, well, I like to know someone is similar thinking to me, that it's not me who's crazy, so to speak. Not to define anything as crazy or not. But the thing is, we're both in this, we're both bringing ourselves to the low vibration. So, what do we do? I mean, the idea there is to try to not be at that, to try to bring ourselves, try to say, well, I know it's there, I need to address it, but how do I do that? How do I do that? I really feel like, for me, I feel like we're all at a crossroads, sort of. Do I go down the pathway of being more of an activist? Do I get out there and fight things more? Do I do that? Or do I go within and do more meditation and seek to raise my own vibration higher? Which one of those do I do? They're really, if you think about it, we think both of those things as good things, but they're a little bit contradictory. So if I'm really paying attention to what I'm telling you, the answer is going to be obvious to me, what I need to do. I respect and understand what activists do in things, but in the picture of how we create our universe, our thoughts, if we go inside and think of our thoughts, those are the things that are going to sort of help us to do that. So I think the answer is a little bit obvious, but I'll tell you, for me, it's very hard to get to it. I find great difficulty trying to do that thing, and I feel like I'm not doing the other thing that I need to do. So, some of that is just us doing it together and supporting each other in that. So those are the things I'm striving for a little bit, although I'm really, really bad at it. But I'm trying to, okay, I'm not going to talk about that thing. I'm going to try to think higher vibration things and try to encourage others around me to think the higher vibration of that thing. I must say, the love and positivity that is projected from everyone that regularly attends this church is one of the main things that attracted me to the church. I feel that from all of you. You all do project all of that positivity. So you are all doing the good work by following natural law. You're better at it than me. By being an example of positivity and love, you are all shining beacons for each other, bringing for others, bringing them hope and better life for the world to live in. So I want to say, actually, sort of thank you to you for being a good example of those things. So thank you very much. Thank you for that, and thank you for allowing me to share today.
Thank you.